Hi everyone, my name is Pearl. I'm a representative from Q-Wave. In case you don't know, Q-Wave is an organization for queer and Asian women and trans folk. We were founded in 2004. We're based around New York City metro area. If you want to check us out on Instagram or on our website.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram! Do you all want to introduce yourselves?
Oh, instead of hiding behind the screen?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Christine, also a member of Q-Wave.
I'm Greg. I'm actually not part of Q-Wave. I'm part of API Rainbow Parents. We are a branch of PFLAG New York City, and we collaborate together for Lunar New Year for All.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's convenient.
Okay, so we're going to take turns in presenting the slides. But today we just wanted to come here and talk with you all about Lunar New Year for All. It's a coalition project between Q-Wave, Gipimni, API Rainbow Parents, and Project Reach. And so this Lunar New Year for All is the first and only LGBTQ contingent to march in a Lunar New Year parade in New York. So slide. Yeah, that's who we are. The quality of this photo did not come out as I imagined it would. But this is a photo that we took in 2018 after the end of the march. Slide, please. And so Lunar New Year for All is like, in 2009, we came up with this purpose to kind of show up in a very visible way at a cultural parade that might not normally be associated with LGBTQ communities. And so our main drive every year to do our march is to show up, to be very loud, to be very proud, and also take this opportunity to kind of like educate all of the parade onlookers with our posters, with our banners, of saying like, hey, we're here, we're queer, there's nothing to be afraid of. And so that's our main goal. And then also here is Aya, API Rainbow Parent, and her sign in Japanese says like, you know, let's all celebrate a new year with our LGBT kids. And so that's our main purpose. Slide. So we're really inspired back in 2009 by the St. Patrick's for All parade group and Salga. At the time, they were continually fighting or being barred from their own respective parades, and so every year is kind of like an ongoing fight between them and the organizers of whether or not they would be allowed to march. And so in 2009, Irene Tung and Q-Wave applied to the Asian Women's Giving Circle Fund to say like, hey, we want to do this thing too, because like St. Patrick's Day for All has this, Salga has this, like why can't we have something like this for Chinatown and for Lunar New Year? And so they got the fund from AWGC, which is awesome because we had this huge plan of like buying a big banner, like giant floating puppets and balloons and like really colorful art and culturally appropriate festivities to kind of like show up in a very respectful way and to kind of like not really blend in, but to just say, hey, again, there's nothing to be afraid of here. Slide, please. But then, this is where the drama starts, is when when the first core group like reached out to the organizers of the parade, they were like kind of receptive in the beginning. They were like, oh, hey, what are you doing? Like, oh, this is a new group. We're trying to march in your parade if you'll let us. Oh, by the way, we're gay. And so then once we said that, they like disappeared and didn't respond to us for a while. In Karen's word, they ghosted us, which was not a term I think that existed. But then the organizers came together and were like, okay, so how do we change the response here? Like, how do we get them to accept us so that we don't have to like go out and protest this? And so they spent a few months like writing press releases, contacting media folks and people that they knew to like kind of sign on to this letter that said like, hey, this is what we're trying to do, please support us, and then we're gonna send this letter out to the parade organizers. And in the end, they got like a huge number of people to sign on in support of this queer group to like march in the parade. And at that time, a lot of the organizers didn't even know how many people would show up. And they were just like, we just want to be here, and hopefully more than 5 people show up. And so this is a photo from the first parade, I think. And you can see it's actually a panorama because more than 300 people showed up, which is great. Slide. Do you want to do the rest?
Oh, This one's throughout the years.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So like these are just more photos that I found on our Facebook page that you can like. This is Lance, another API rainbow parent, and their child. APCHA is another partner. JCL is a partner, and then that's your dog, and then that's a good sign. Slide.
So last year we wanted, so this is 2019. So back in 2018, after we had the parade, we really wanted to make sure that we were more reinvigorated, because I think with any kind of movement or any kind of event, energy tends to dim down after some time. And we really wanted to make sure that we were able to bring more people back into what we thought was a really important part of our culture, because in our culture, speaking like East Asians broadly, even though we have a victory in Taiwan just this year, it's still a little bit of a taboo topic in many parts of East Asia. So we continue to work with a variety of organizations. This year we were able to bring in Bubble Tea, thanks to many wonderful people in our committee. And it's because they want to reach out to more people. People in the activist circle, I think we tend to get a little bit focused on ourselves, about people who are already passionate about the work we do. And we want to work with people who might be passionate but don't really know how yet, or they focus it towards different avenues. So Bubble Tea, they're a party. They're party goers. They put on really great dance parties in Brooklyn and also in PS1 in Queens. So really thankfully, they were willing to partner with us and allow us to advertise there and bring more people to our march. Next, please. Okay, so these are pictures of what we did to really try to get people more excited. We had every year we try to have like a costume for the animal of that year to show like, hey, we know where we are. But also we have like lots of like wonderful new people. JCL, I think they've been with us for a while, but yeah, I think they're a little bit more. And then we're slowly bringing more people from API Rainbow Parents. And also we have like a red envelope. And this year, but also this year, we wanted to be more conscious about the types of signs that we bring out, because we don't want to just be a bunch of people who are walking down the street. We want people to know why we're there. So we created a contest where we were very specific about the types of audiences we want to reach and the types of messages we wanted to get out to the public. So next slide. So over here, these are the winners of the contest that we had. We created 5 different categories to make sure that we were able to hit all of the people in our community and also the different audiences that we were working with, because we're in Chinatown. So we wanted to really promote more Chinese language in our signs. And it really pushed people, because some people in our community, they aren't the best in Chinese. So then they'll collaborate with other people who are able to convey the messages that they want. And also, it's because we want to bring people who are native Mandarin, and we didn't really have many native Cantonese speakers. But for native... Oh, yeah. So it's written. But we wanted to make sure that they are pushing themselves to really work with Mandarin, right? Because sometimes people don't know how to express it, and we want to make sure that they are empowering themselves by being able to put it in writing. So over here, I really love this sign. This one is for the trans community. That was one of the categories that we want to really support the trans and gender queer community. Over here, we have LGBT. So we want to do it for the whole community to show that we're all united. Over here, I think it was these two. These two were tied. So just to promote more lesbian and gay and bisexual acceptance. And this one, actually I think, oh, this one's family. Yeah, sorry. This is family. 相亲相爱一家人，同志之间也是爱. So I guess that's both. It's both for the family community, just families, and also the gay and lesbian communities. And then this one is very families. So it's saying that I am a lesbian and I am also your daughter. Next year, we really want to expand because we recognize that we have not just Chinese people in our parade, in our little contingent in the march. We want to expand it and bring people from other groups because we have a lot of Koreans and also we have Japanese people and Vietnamese people who also celebrate the Lunar New Year. Not really Japanese people, but they still march with us. But we really want to make next year a really big year. Next.
Now I'm ready. Okay, and to kind of go off Greg and Pearl's point about why it's great to march and it's important to march in something like the Lunar New Year Parade or just really any parade. I was actually, so the 2018 Lunar New Year Parade, Lunar New Year for All was the first time I marched with the queer Asian contingent, and full disclosure, I'd actually gone because I thought a girl I liked would be there. She wasn't there. Thankfully, I stayed, and it was worth it. Yeah, it was an awesome experience. So if you haven't done it and you're interested in doing it, definitely, I highly recommend it. But yeah, going off that, so since 2018, Lunar New Year for All, fast forward to this year, I've been lucky enough to be able to attend and participate in a whole host of different marches, parades, celebrations of queer Asian lives. And coming into this year, World Pride 2019, I had the opportunity to march in World Pride, right? So, 50 years, Stonewall, 50 years. And I was really hesitant to do so. I was like, it's gonna be so hot. It's gonna be, I already have a girlfriend. So like, why am I going to this? But thankfully, peer pressure, yada, yada, I ended up going, and this experience there really stuck out to me as to why we march, and I wanted to share it with you all tonight. So while I was walking on Fifth Ave on the parade route, one of the other QA marchers taps me and they're like, oh, hey, Christine, there's a girl crying on the side. Like, you should go hug her. It's like, okay, I'll go hug her. And she's like, not just crying, she's like sobbing, right? So she looks like she's in her early 20s. She's like clearly with her girlfriend, and she looks like she's of Asian descent. So I go over there, I ask her, hi, can I hug you? Consent is very important. She agrees, I hug her, and I'm like, hey, so what's up? Why are you crying? And it's a little hard to hear her because she's like full on sobbing. So she says to me, she's like, I saw this sign of I am an Asian lesbian and I respect my family. And you never see that in mainstream media. So it just really, and at this point she kind of just trailed off. So I hug her again and I run off again. And as I'm going back to join the other members of the queer Asian contingent, I think to myself, I start reflecting, I'm like, wow, I feel so ashamed that I didn't want to march this year. Like, I was complaining about the people, the heat, and whatnot. Because in the past few years, I've been so lucky to be part of so many queer Asian communities, and not everybody has that privilege. And it was just a few years ago, 5 years ago, when I myself was a baby gay, and just coming out and went to my first corporate pride. It was 2014, 2015, and there I was with another baby gay friend of mine who was also Asian, and every time an Asian float or some sort of Asian representation came down, we would just get so excited and tap each other like, look, and yeah, it's so that event and that moment really just reminded me how important representation is and how important it is for us to be visible, because you never know who might see you. I think we're good, right?
Okay. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.